Hi all. When I saw this kit online, I had to buy it. It looked very well animated. The choice of figures and the poses and the colours really attracted me to it. Also, in the kit, it was just one sprue. So initially I thought, oh great, it's going to be a relatively quick build. Actually how wrong it turned out to be. Obviously one thing I like about modelling is that you've got to do a bit of research. I tried to have a look online as to the painting of the uniform. The box art is great, but I always want to find a little bit more in the details. Obviously there are the reenactors that you could look at, but actually I found a film, The Last of the Mohicans, with Daniel Day-Lewis. I think actually seemed to be the inspiration for this particular kit. I started with the horse. I wanted to be a chestnut like on the box art. Once I put the horse together and sprayed it with surface primer, I started on painting it. I really do like how the horse was animated. Also then I did the saddle cloth. It had gold facings, which I applied very carefully using very thin strips of Tamiya tape, and that looked pretty effective. I was pretty happy with that. I then went on to do the British soldier. Its animation and the posture was really good. On a rearing horse, sometimes it's difficult to get a good posture for the figure. I started with the face as usual, and then worked from the waistcoat out, and just took my time with it, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. And when I did finally put it on the horse, it fit quite well. I was really happy with this figure. Then came the Indian. Again, I based it on the cover art. I firstly assembled it without its arms. So, because when you have this figure attacking the British soldier, the problem was to be how it combined with the soldier, and I didn't want it to look loose. So what I did is I constructed it first, and then I glued the arms onto the figure whilst it was next to the soldier, so that it conformed to the overall look of the action. Painting the Indian was really interesting because it used different skin tones that I'm used to. I wanted a darker, redder skin tone, which I managed to, I think I pulled it off. The other thing was that it had black face paint. Now I didn't just paint it wet, I actually dry brushed it on his forehead and his cheeks and nose, and also dry brushed it on the hands, and that looked very effective. Then I thought, did I just want to leave it as the figures and perhaps have a backdrop of the oak tree? I thought about it, but then I decided, look, I'll give a go of actually making a model tree. Now I've seen a few tutorials, and that actually got me going, and I gave it a shot. I tried to represent an oak tree that was very big and old, and yeah, then I made a start. I started with the florist's wire. Just one thing, the higher the number gauge, the narrower the diameter. And I thought I did a good job of actually making the shape of the tree. Then I was deciding, once I've made the armature, how to actually coat the actual tree itself. I finally decided to use some air-dried clay. Now, putting it onto the tree was good. However, a huge problem was that when it started drying, there were big cracks. So I thought, oh no, all of that time and effort gone to waste. But I did find on the internet that you could actually use acrylic paste, which then I found on Kmart. So I used that, and actually that was good. I could apply a very thin coating, but I put a lot of texture involved, which suited the type of bark. After the acrylic coating, I then saw some seafoam from AliExpress, and to add some extra branches. Once it was glued on, which was a very tedious thing, I painted the tree brown. But then, as with the cover art, I added extra paint to represent moss and lichen on the tree. And after I've done all of that, my wife said it looked like a bonsai plant. So I was very happy with that. The next step was putting on leaves. Now, I had a stash of silver birch seeds, and they have this sort of leaf that is almost maple-like, but my stash was very pale brown type of leaves. I needed green leaves. I had a stamp, but I realized very quickly that if I wanted to make enough leaves, I would have to firstly stamp out a lot of leaves, which would be very, very time consuming. Plus I would have had to paint them individually, which would have been crazy. I then decided, look, I got AliExpress silver birch leaves, which were painted in various shades of green, which I then used. Now, the process that I used to apply the leaves was that I had some Bostik spray adhesive. I'd spray a certain part and then I'd sprinkle the leaves around. It took me 2 mornings to do this because spray went everywhere and it landed on other branches, so I needed it to dry. But also when the excess leaves fell from the sprinkling, they were not really reusable because they were sticky themselves. So actually I lost a lot of leaves that way, and I'd have to consider a different process next time if I do this again. The final bit was to decide on the groundwork. Now, I did initially think I wanted to use a round base, but I found an old rectangular base which I decided to use. I then put plaster on the base, and because according to the artwork the area was mossy, what I did is I dripped on almost dry plaster onto the areas to give it mounds which simulated mossy fields. I then applied a vibrant green and then dappled on darker shades of brown, lighter shades of green onto the surface, and I was very happy with the final results. Today's going to be a very warm day in Melbourne. It's going to be over 40 degrees, so I take advantage of that and let this dry outside. Looks like almost a real bonsai tree. The final thing I did, of course, was to put the figures onto the base once it was all dried, and then I used some backgrounds of a dark forest in the US, and I took some pictures of that, and the final result was very pleasing. So what I thought initially was going to be an easy build took quite a while, like about 6 months in total, to actually do this build, because I tried to do the tree as well. So I hope you enjoyed this build. Please put comments, share me your thoughts. I'd like to hear from them. Also, please have a look at my other models and subscribe. Thank you very much and enjoy.